Hello, good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Welcome to Speak Up in Color. I am Julie Schindler, your host. Today has been a little bit out of whack, so we are going to hopefully be able to connect with our children in Zambia. We're going to hope that I get to keep my voice for this story time, and we're going to get creative, which is the best part about color. And when you can speak up in color and create with color and connect with color, you can do some really creative things with it. So today we have our Little Spot of Emotion series that we are continuing with the children in Zambia. And we have been reading the series with them over the last 4 or 5 Saturdays. And the series has about 8 books in it. So we've gone through emotions. Last week was our angry spot, and we learned how to shrink down our angry spot and how to tap out those emotions and blow the calm and peaceful air on them. Today, we are going to be finding out our peaceful spot. How do we tap in to our peaceful spot? Because our peaceful spot tends to show up anytime we need to shrink one of our emotions. It's kind of our big helper. It sits on our shoulder and it's here just to remind us that we have ways that we can tap in to our peaceful spot. And Florentina has taught us how to breathe in through our nose and out through our mouth is a great way to tap into our peaceful spot. We've also had our buttons. So we know when we're getting peaceful, we can tap into our button. And this one says,
Green, peaceful.
Green for peaceful. And all of our buttons either have Vincent. I think this is Vincent's.
Green, peaceful.
Green for peaceful is Bubba, our godson. This is Vincent's voice. And we heard Florentina last week with our angry button. Angry, angry, angry. And we'll see what other buttons that we can fill up too. And look, we even have a green face. Our green peaceful spot can go anywhere we need it to go. So we have a few different ways to connect. And our story, we've read this story a couple times on our Florentina and Friends story time. We've also read it on our Clubhouse stories. And we read it back in June with Ariana and Florentina. So we were able to show kind of our boards. What do we do when we're bored? And the children that we read to have moments of boredom. And whether they are in the hospital and they're going through treatments or in the orphanage when there's just nothing to do. And a lot of that time we spend in our peaceful spot, whether that's reading stories, listening to music. For our children in Zambia, we do a lot of praying. And so I'm excited for them to hopefully show us how they pray too, because that prayer can really take you into a beautiful, peaceful spot. And you can tap into that at any time. I love to do that in meditation and going outside in nature. And so we are going to watch our last recording of our peaceful spot and find out how we too can tap into our peaceful spot and what to do when we're bored. So let's see what our story has in store for us today. Into our peaceful spot and get to know how we can create peace within our own space. And then I'll show you some of the tricks and tips that I use having lived horizontally for the last almost 10 years. So there's a lot of time when you are just bored. And I have these boards that sit on my bed with me.
or I can put them outside in the grass. They kind of travel. And the first one that's here with me today is my energy board. And on it is full of crystals. And they're kind of pockets full of sunshine. There's a lot of colors in them, and all of them hold energy and healing. And so Florentina and I have made pockets full of sunshine that she gets to take with her to the hospital. And there are ways that you can play with energy by holding them in your hands, by creating stories of color, just by connecting to them, and the different energy that they hold. And then ways that you can charge them in the sun and in the moon and with water. And so these are just a few of the little tips and tricks that I have in this peaceful spot. This is a spot that I read a lot of books. I play with color cards and stories. One of the newest ones, it's called We See, and it's CC in French and Spanish, but it's a game of cards and colors with photos on it. And as you can see, each one is a little bit different. And so over the weekend, my nieces and I were able to play a lot of different games. And we created stories of what kind of story is this picture tell you? What does it look like? Does it look like maybe a leaf? What colors do you see within it? And if you created a story about this leaf, is it hanging on a tree? Is it have a bird on it? Maybe there is a caterpillar that's right underneath it. And there are ways that you can take yourself away from the current situation and look at different ways to make stories with color. And that is just a couple things that I have in our peaceful spot. We dropped a book, so we're going to see if we can, there we go, see if we can lean. And then we also have tips and tricks. So other ways is drinking in your colors, drinking in your rainbow, a lot of sensory play. So we take our water and we take our water beads and we fill them up. And so we can put our hands in it. We can use our crystals in the water. There are so many different ways. Essential oils, all of our smellies are different ways to change our current environment when we're bored. And when we need something to do, we can reach into our peaceful spot. So let's get into our story today. And if we have time, we will try and take our peaceful spot outside to the outside peaceful spot. Okay. Hi, I am Peaceful Spot. Your peaceful spot helps you to feel relaxed and calm. And today I'm going to show you how to get to your peaceful spot. Oh, wow, says the boy in the red shorts. I'm excited, says the girl in the purple skirt, a pink skirt. Ta-da! Here it is. Isn't it beautiful? Because you are calm and relaxed right now. It's already here. It's really easy to spot. Do you see the purple? Do you see the greens and yellows and sparkles? That is our peaceful spot. But sometimes when your big spot of emotion shows up, it can become overwhelming. And then it can be hard for you to see where your calm and peaceful spot is. That's why it's important to look for your peaceful spot as soon as one of these spots of emotions starts to get too big. But first, you need to identify what spot of emotion is showing up right now. What spot of emotions do you see? Do you see our gray anxiety spot and our blue sad spot and our red angry spot? When they get too big, it can make our peaceful spot go away. So we have to decide, what spot is it? Is it our angry spot? Are you feeling frustrated because you can't find something? Or are you annoyed because you tried to do something and it didn't turn out the way you expected? Has that ever happened to you? Can you think of a time that your angry spot got too big? And what do we do when our angry spot gets too big? And maybe it was your anxiety spot that showed up. Are you feeling worried of trying something new? Or are you scared that you won't pass your test? Or maybe it's your sadness spot that showed up, and he's blue. Are you feeling lonely because no one will play with you? Or disappointed because you dropped your delicious popsicle on the ground? Can you remember a time that your sadness spot showed up? Have you ever dropped a popsicle on the ground? Or maybe you were lonely and you wanted someone to play with, but nobody was around. Those can be hard because each of our emotions can be managed. Each of our emotions can be managed in a different way. That's why it's important for us to identify which one you are feeling. Because if your anxious spot, anxiety spot shows up, there are ways. We have tricks and ways and sips to get rid of it. And we also have ones for our sadness spot and ones to tackle our angry spot when he pops up. Because sometimes you can feel nervous when your anxiety spot is around, or worried, or scared. And when your sadness pops up, when you're feeling blue, you can feel disappointed, lonely, or lost. And when your angry spot decides to take over, he is annoyed, he is hurt, and he can be frustrated. Are you ever frustrated? I know that I can get frustrated. When I try to open a jar and my hands don't work, I get really, really frustrated. Once you have identified the spot of emotion, it makes it easier for you to guide you to your peaceful spot. If you are having a hard time figuring out which spot of emotion it is, it can help to write it down or draw out your feelings. So sometimes if we don't know how we're feeling, putting it out on paper can help. Are we feeling angry and we want to scream? Are we feeling sad and we just want to sit quietly? Maybe we're feeling anxious and we don't know if we want to scream or sit quietly or do anything because we are just anxious. Or maybe we're in our peaceful spot where we're calm and we're happy. And look at that smile. And he's just sitting there enjoying everything around him. So how do we get to our peaceful spot? Well, now it's time to turn that spot of emotion into a peaceful spot. So regardless of what color of emotion shows up, we can teach it how to get back to a peaceful spot. Sometimes it helps to fill your peaceful spot with a lot of amazing and peaceful things. Just like my spot here. Let's look at sometimes when you were peaceful. And let's add those things to your peaceful spot. So I want you to think about times that you feel peaceful. Do you feel peaceful when you're drawing or listening to music? What about books? How about some books for peaceful reading and writing? We could also add peaceful pictures for our meditations. All of these things we can add to our very own peaceful spot. And then how do we do it? How do we get there? Because we know what we want to bring into our peaceful spot, but peace comes from within. So how do we bring out our peace from within? Let's talk about breathing. How we can get to our peaceful spot from within is through our own breath. So I want you to imagine a pattern of 7 green breathe in with the swirls and out with the dots. So we are going to breathe in with the swirls through. So we're going to breathe in through our nose and out through our mouth. Breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth. In through the nose and out through the mouth. And that's how we get to our peaceful spot. So let's do the breathing pattern together. Are you ready? Are you in your peaceful spot? Is your nose working? Let's wiggle it. Is it working? Can we breathe in? Okay, can we make sure our mouth is working? Can we breathe out? Okay, our mouth is working and our nose is working. So let's do this together. We are going to imagine our green spot. We're going to breathe in with the swirls going in and in, and we're going to breathe out the dots. My emotions are now in this peaceful place. I will be calm when I leave this space. So breathe in, one swirl, out with the dots. Breathe in, swirl it around, breathe out the dots. Breathe in, swirl it around, breathe out the dots. Are we feeling peaceful yet? I'm feeling peaceful, a little lightheaded too. So now we know how to use our breath to find our peaceful spot. Let's see how we can use other ways to get rid of those big emotion spots when they show up and bring us back to our peaceful spot. Here are some of the breathing tricks that you can do, each saying for different emotions. So sometimes our angry spot is not going to let us sit quietly and breathe. It is too angry. But what is another way that we can touch our angry spot? And we're going to use our hand. So this one right here, it says for the angry spot. Ooh, and I have an angry spot. My godson was over and he helped me with all of the colors. And let's see what his says here. His angry spot showed up. What are we going to do to get rid of this angry spot? Well, it says he's still angry. So we're going to count the spots from 1 to 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Tap, 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 and tap once more. Now fill your lungs with peaceful air and coat your spots with love and care. Okay, so we're going to do this. We're going to tap, 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 tap. So we have all of our angry spots on our fingers now. and we've touched them, and now we know that they are there. And we are going to breathe in and fill our lungs with peaceful air. And coat our angry spots with love and care. So now I get it. So we're going to touch our fingers about all of those angry spots and let them know we see you. And then we're going to breathe in through our nose, all those swirls, and we're going to breathe out onto our dots on our finger. And we blew all of the angry spots away. Are we sure that works? Should we try it again? Tap, 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 tap once more. Breathe in your peaceful air and breathe out the love and care. So we're going to breathe in, and we just blew our angry spot away. Are you still feeling angry? Because I'm not feeling angry anymore. We just learned how to get rid of this angry spot and put it into a green peaceful spot. And then there's other ways that we can do that with our other ones too, all using our fingers and our breath, all the things that are attached to us. So now that we worked on our getting rid of our big emotion spots into our peaceful spot, oh wow, it's working already. Look how calm he is. And I love that big cozy chair too. So he created a spot in his own area. He filled it with all the things he loved, his books and music and pictures, and of course, all of his friends, his emotions. And he used his breath to find his peaceful spot. We are so proud of him. So now our friend Peaceful has given us enough tools to help you find your peaceful spot. And he will be looking forward to seeing you soon. He wants to know, how are you going to find your peaceful spot today? And if you forget and you want the reminder, all you have to do is come back to your breath right here. It's in your nose. And if your nose is working and your mouth is working, you can find your peaceful spot too. Well, thank you for joining us for that story. We have the Little Spot of Emotion series by Diane Alber that we have been going through over the last 7 months with Florentina. This story series has allowed us to teach Florentina and help her to speak up, to color her emotions, to name what those emotions are, and how to flow them through using a few tips and tricks. This series is available. It's through the Social Emotional Learning, and it's called CEL, and it's a program that is in a lot of our schools and communities as we speak all across the globe. And Diane has done such an amazing job of creating this series of the CEL program as interactive for you and your children to learn to do and color your emotions at home. And this is available for any age. And there is a lot of ways to interact with the plush toys, with the games. There's affirmation cards, so many ways to color emotions and color pain. And part of this is finding that peaceful spot and creating that peaceful spot, whether that's in your own home, like I have, because I live horizontally, or travel packs of these board kits that you can take with you for you and your child when you have to be outside of your home. And if you are looking for ways to find your peaceful spot, using sensory play is the biggest advice that I can give for any parent that wants to find a way to connect with their children. Sensory plays is using all of our senses. Not only is it reading to your child and allowing them to read to you, it is getting your hands dirty, getting them wet, and digging into Mother Nature. It is breathing and meditation. It is using essential oils and the essences around us. And it's looking for ways that you can sip in the rainbow and put your rainbow on repeat, because every color holds a vibration. And when you're going through cancer treatments and you're going through, if you live in chronic pain like I do, coloring pain and picking and staying close to color, because color holds vibration, and within vibration, there's healing. So you can find a way out of the darkness by coloring chronic pain, and you can stay in the light and stay in your peaceful spot by using some of the tricks and sips that you've learned today. We are so honored to be a part of the journeys of these children that are fighting neuroblastoma cancer. We met Florentina 7 months ago as she was going through a really tough part of her cancer. And we were able to start these story times as a way to lift her spirits and to bring these storybooks to life. And all of the hearts and authors that have joined SpeakUp events over the last 7 months, we could not have done it without you. And this platform is creating a space and place for children and parents to come and learn how to speak up, how to color their emotions, how to color pain, and have fun doing it, where you finally understand nothing. And you get to come together and get a story, get some colors, and hang out with our live superheroes. And this week, Florentina is going through her very last round of immunotherapy treatments. And she spent the first day at Gosh under observation. And she's taken her Michelle Miracles backpack home and to finish out her antibody treatments over the next 5 days or so. I think it's a total of 7 days. And we will check in with Florentina and Ariana to see how this week has gone. They will get to hear the story time. So please leave a comment for these brave warriors. Let them know that you are watching, that the world is here supporting them, and they have a rainbow of hearts around them, helping them that they are not walking in these footsteps through neuroblastoma cancer alone. We are going to take a 30-second pause, and I'm going to take you outside to our peaceful spot outside to show you how you can create a space within your home to find some fun and peace, healing and color. And you can also do the same with your outside space. So stay with us for a few minutes as I tiptoe in my sunny sloth onesie to our outside play area, and we'll see what colors are in store. Okay, welcome back. See, that was just not too far. We were able to take a few footsteps in our sunny sloth costume, and we are now outside in our peaceful spot. So we showed you what our inside spot looked like and ways that we can find what to do when we're bored, right? Those really bored moments throughout our day, and especially for me that lives horizontally. But this is our outside spot. So we brought a lot of those things that are inside to the outside. And so we talked about our crystals and the energy work, that we did. And I showed you that game that we had inside, the CC game. This is the nature version. And so when you bring your cards outside, and you can, it's literally millions, like 210 stories within a story. And all of them have a ton of color and photos attached to them. So as we look at these and we pick one, like what is this one telling you? Can you see a color? What color do you see? Yellow? Is that a jellyfish? So if this jellyfish was in a fish tank in your house, what other animals might be inside with it? Would it be a Nemo fish going with it? I wonder, what do you think a jellyfish eats? So we could create a story all about this jellyfish. Does the jellyfish have a name? What should we name our jellyfish? Well, maybe we need to find where does our jellyfish, if she lived in the ocean, what would that look like? And do you see how all of these little pictures can take us away and have us create a whole new story? And it looks like we have a superhero who's been able to join us. Should we check in and see how our superhero's doing and see if she wants to help me with the story? Ooh, we have
Thank you so much. It was actually really fun to sit here and to see how far we've come over the course of the last year and hosting these story times. And to know that there's so many opportunities to explore color within not only our emotions, but within nature and within music. And I'm re inspired of ways to connect with our peaceful spot and ways that we can expand the children's minds and imaginations by learning and exploring more within our little spots of emotion. So, as I am going to take my peaceful spot into today on this beautiful Saturday, I'm sorry that we did not get to connect with our children. It looks like they lost their power and they were completely without power for our story time today. So I will connect with them and we'll have a story right here ready to replay on repeat. And we can put our rainbow on repeat together. Speak Up in Color, Speak Up events, and Florentina and Friends story times would not be possible without the beautiful hearts that are volunteering to help support by watching our story times, by connecting with our children, by connecting with the causes behind each of their children and their stories, and helping us by being our partners and collaborators, whether that you're an author who comes on and reads a story, you share our story times with your friends and family, you become a subscriber on our YouTube channel where you can get all of our stories live and our entire library. We have 60 plus stories of Florentina and Friends, and we are at our 11th story for Speak Up in Color. So there are plenty of ways to connect and a lot of tips and tricks within. Thank you so much for being here, for your support of me and my purpose to my pillow. I am Julie Schindler, your host, and I will be signing off for today, sending you so much love. And I hope that you too find your green, peaceful spot. And if you can't find it, you can create it. And that's all from within. Just breathe in through your nose, out through your mouth, and we will see you on the other side of this rainbow. Have a great day, everybody.